Let's dive into one of the most incredible frontiers in wellness right now, the connection, the powerful link between your gut and your brain. We're finding out that this relationship is way more important than we ever thought, influencing everything from how we feel to what we think.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had a gut feeling about something? Or, felt those butterflies in your stomach? We use these phrases all the time, right? But what if they're not just figures of speech? What if your gut is actually seriously influencing your mood, how you handle stress, maybe even your thoughts? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into today.
All right, let's do this. I want you to picture the connection between your gut and your brain like a massive, bustling superhighway. There's traffic, information flowing in both directions, 24/7. And on this little journey we're about to take, we're going to see how one key player, an amino acid called glutamine, is basically the crew chief for this whole operation.
Now, this superhighway, it has a proper name. It's called the gut-brain axis. And really, it's just a constant two-way biochemical chat between your gastrointestinal tract and your central nervous system. So what happens in your gut? It definitely doesn't stay in your gut. It sends signals straight up to your brain, and the brain sends signals right back down.
So how do we keep this connection strong and healthy? Well, a lot of research points to one key player, glutamine, and this quote from the research really nails it. It's not just about digestion, not at all. Glutamine literally acts as a bridge. It connects what we eat to the health of our gut bacteria and, you guessed it, all the way to our mental well-being. It's a seriously essential link in the chain.
Okay, so to really understand how this bridge works, our first stop on the superhighway has to be the physical structure of the gut itself. Before we get into all the signals and messages flying back and forth, we've got to talk about the wall, the barrier that protects us. And this brings us to something absolutely critical. See, a healthy gut has a really strong security fence, but things like stress, a not-so-great diet, or other pressures can actually damage that fence. The scientific term for this is intestinal permeability, but you've probably heard it called leaky gut. It means the barrier's been compromised and stuff that's not supposed to get through can leak into the bloodstream, kicking off a whole cascade of problems. And this is where glutamine just shines. It steps in like the gut's all-star repair crew. First, it's the fuel. It provides the main energy source for the cells lining your gut so they can rebuild and renew themselves. Second, it literally helps repair the wall by keeping the tight junctions, think of it like the mortar between the cellular bricks, strong and sealed. And third, it helps calm down local inflammation, which is especially important when we're stressed. Bottom line, glutamine is absolutely essential for keeping that security fence strong.
But look, a strong gut barrier, that's just the beginning. Once that fence is secure, we can start to appreciate the incredible communication network that runs along this superhighway. And trust me, it's way more complex than just sending a simple text message. So get this. Did you know your gut is often called the second brain? That's because it has its own nervous system, the enteric nervous system. It's this huge web of neurons that's so complex it can actually work independently from the brain in your head. It's amazing, really. While your main brain is busy with conscious thoughts and big ideas, the second brain in your gut is managing the whole world of digestion and sending constant status updates upstairs. So how exactly do these two brains talk to each other? Well, they have three main channels. First up, the vagus nerve. This is like a direct fiber optic cable running straight from the gut to the brain. Then you have neurotransmitters. And here's a mind-blowing fact. Over 90% of your body's serotonin, that's the feel-good chemical, is actually made in your gut. Not your brain, your gut. And finally, the immune system acts like a messenger service, constantly reporting on the gut status and sending that info up to the brain. Okay, and now for the big payoff. This is what it's all about. We've seen how glutamine helps maintain the gut wall and how the gut is constantly talking to the brain. So, what does a healthy, well-maintained gut actually do for your brain, for your mental state? Well, it does a lot. A healthy gut barrier, supported by heroes like glutamine, leads directly to a healthier brain. We're talking more balanced neurotransmitters, which means better mood regulation. We're talking greater resilience to stress. It can even mean a reduction in some of the factors linked to things like anxiety and depression. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it. A happy gut helps create a happy brain. So let's bring it all home. Let's recap and really nail down why this one little amino acid, glutamine, is such a critical piece of this entire puzzle. It's not just doing one thing. It plays a central role in the whole gut-brain system. So to recap our whole journey, glutamine is the crew chief, right? It fuels and repairs the gut's physical barrier, making sure those critical tight junctions stay strong. And by keeping that barrier in top shape, it helps make sure the communication with the brain is clear and healthy. And that, in turn, directly influences how we feel. It really truly is the bridge that connects what we eat to our overall well-being. So the next time you're thinking about your health, I want you to remember that superhighway running right through you. The science is becoming so clear. Supporting our gut is one of the most powerful ways we can support our mind. Which, leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If nutrition is a bridge to mental wellness, what's the first stone you'll lay? Thanks for joining me on this one.